Then we'll see some sunshine return to the area on Wednesday with a high of 53 with a light southeast wind. That will fall to 29 Wednesday night. From the Weather Eye Weather Center, powered by Weatherology.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley on Super Talk 1270. Right now, 37.
The home for ABC News at the top of the hour is Super Talk 1270.
Welcome to Community Talk, a public affairs presentation of the MSA United Way and Super Talk 1270. Now your host, Jenna Gullo.
Hello, Bismarck, Mandan, Western New York, and all of our family and friends listening out there and supporters of United Way. We're happy that you're tuning in. We are live here in Mandan, North Dakota. This is United Way's Community Talk, and co-hosting with me today is Ms. Amber Jensen, the Operations Manager and Marketing Manager for the United Way.
Good morning, everyone.
So, Amber, you have some fun things going on all year round at the United Way. Tell people how they can get involved.
You know, a lot of the things that we do at United Way, we can only do because we have so many wonderful volunteers that help us out. And so if you are looking for volunteer opportunities, we have so many opportunities on our website. It's called volunteerbizman.com. All of our agencies can post all of their needs. If it's in-kind needs, if it's volunteer needs, they can post them on that site. United Way is constantly updating all of our needs in our community, whether it's we just need some office help or we need some items donated for our office to help us get through the year. And a lot of the shelters are in need of new supplies every once in a while, whether it be diapers or food that they can provide to their clients. So if you have some extra things as you're cleaning out your closets, feel free to look at that because we have a lot of agencies in need and a lot of volunteer opportunities that people can do throughout the year. And if you only have once a month, if you can do it, an hour a year, there's an opportunity on there, whether your age, your ability. So I invite you to check it out, volunteerbizman.com.
Well, and at United Way, we're solving problems. We know that hunger is a big issue in our area. So we oftentimes need volunteers to help us pack the United Way backpacks. We're packing and delivering over 800 backpacks to students who unfortunately would otherwise go hungry over the weekend. So give us a call or like us on Facebook.
Yeah, it's facebook.com/MSAUway, and we will be posting a lot of our stuff and also a lot of our stuff from Volunteer Bizman. Another big need within the besides the United Way backpack program is also the Adopt a Classroom program. And so if you are an individual out there, if you're a business out there and you're trying to find a way to just be a role model to students, the Adopt a Classroom program is a really great opportunity for you as well.
Yeah, so like us on Facebook, give us a call on, at 255-3601, or go online and peruse all the different volunteer opportunities, because it's not just United Way, it's all of our partner agencies and community groups. And I'm sure that you'll find, whether it's a one-time volunteer event or a regular event, that you would want to be a part of. Give us a call. So speaking of the value of our volunteers and our donors and in-kind donations, we have a program that basically exists because of the generosity of our community. We're talking today with Sarah Carlson, the Executive Director of CCO, and we're talking about the Wheels for Work program. Sarah, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jenna.
Sarah, I met you a long time ago.
I know, and it's fun to be together now in this capacity.
It is so neat. You have such a big heart. Tell us what the Wheels for Work program is.
Well, the Wheels for Work program is a transportation assistance program for very low income people who are trying to transition from being low income to having full-time or part-time employment and becoming self-sufficient. So it's a car donation program. And lots of nonprofits have programs where they get people to donate their cars to them. But ours is a little unique because we actually fix those cars and then we match them up with a recipient, someone who does not have their own means of reliable transportation and need it to get to a job. And so we get the cars, we inspect them, fix them, clean them, and get them matched up.
This is fantastic. How long has this program been in operation?
Well, I was hired in September of 2013, as this is when we first started with the nonprofit. Wheels for Work is a program of CCO, which is the nonprofit division of Community Options here in Bismarck. And in 2013, they got a 501c3 status, so that's what you need in order for people to be able to claim their donations to a nonprofit.
How did it all start?
Well, the way that this started is Community Options runs the JOBS program for every county in North Dakota except for Cass County. And JOBS stands for Job Opportunities and Basic Skills. When I started this program, I was kind of new to the world of the social service world, and one of the things they like to do is make acronyms for everything, like JOBS. JOBS program is a mandatory program for anybody who receives TANF, and TANF stands for Temporary Assistance to Needy Families. It's what used to be called AFDC, Aid to Families with Dependent Children, otherwise known as, welfare. It is public welfare for families when there is only, when there is only one parent in the family. So, Community Options runs the JOBS program, and they were noticing that in order to get employment, the two biggest barriers were transportation and childcare. And so they wanted to find a way to address those two issues, and the car donation program was one idea that came up.
Well, it makes perfect sense because we run into so many families that really want to get back up on their feet again, but they can't get to and from their job. They have such a difficult time. We actually started to provide bus passes for the CAT to low-income families in our community, and it's still awfully difficult. We have a family where the father, he gets up at early in the morning for his 8 to 5 job. He leaves around 5 or 6 in the morning, doesn't get home till 8 p.m. because he has to take the bus.
Right. And we are fortunate that we do have a bus system here. It's better than nothing. But it's not like living in a large urban community where you can just hop on a bus at pretty much any corner and get, many, many routes. We have some pretty specific routes, and your route might not get you all the way to your job. And, we have some challenging weather around here in the winter.
Isn't that the truth? So we are going to be talking more with Sarah Carlson. She's the executive director of CCO, and we're talking about the Wheels for Work program and how you can give back. You might not even realize it, but that you're thinking of upgrading or getting rid of that old car, you're going to find out where to give it and how to give it. You are listening to United Way's Community Talk. Join us. We will be back in just about 2 minutes.
Right now, 37.
Super Talk 1270, home of the Bismarck Bobcats and high school sports. Listen online or anywhere on the Radio Pub app. Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back. I am Jenna Gullo, the executive director of the Missouri Slope Area-wide United Way. Thanks for joining us today. You're listening to United Way's Community Talk. It's an informative show hoping to increase awareness on community issues and also increase involvement, ways you can give back and make a big difference. Go online today to volunteerbizman.com. We have over 50 different volunteer opportunities identified from 30 different agencies and community groups. There's something for you, whether you want to give an hour a week, or if you want an activity for your family. Right now, we're linking 48 students and 10 adults from a local church to do some packing of our United Way backpacks and also some yard work for Mandan Golden Age and our United Way and one of the shelters in town. And so if you're looking for those types of opportunities, those service hours that you need to get in before the end of the school year, give us a call. Our number is 255-3601. Co-hosting with me today is Ms. Amber Jensen, the Marketing and Operations Director at the United Way.
Good morning, everyone.
Amber, you have another volunteer opportunity there where you're looking for women in the community.
Yeah, and actually a group of them are volunteering every other Tuesday of the month. And so we are always looking for women to help volunteer for the Adopt a Classroom program. And that's a program where we go to area schools that just need someone to be there for the kids, be a reader, be a tutor, be a mentor for those kids. And so many of the businesses and individuals, including our Women's Leadership Circle, are always looking for volunteers to go to the schools. And so you can read to the kids. Our Women's Leadership Circle is there from 11 to 1. They get to read, they have recess, and they have lunch with the kids. It's just a really great opportunity to be that positive role model. And so if you're interested in the Adopt a Classroom program, we're always looking for volunteers. Like Jenna said, call our office 255-3601.
Or it's really simple if you just like us on Facebook, because we'll put out posts where there's emerging needs. We had a family, 5 families actually in Mandan, that were all sleeping on the floor. They needed some mattresses. We put something on Facebook, and instantaneously people raised their hand and said, yeah, I wanted to give my mattress somewhere where I knew it was going to be used. We had a woman who was washing her clothes by hand, hers and her children's clothes in the sink by hand. And we were able to find pretty much in a day someone to donate their washer and dryer.
Yeah, it's just incredible how fast and how willing people are to get involved in the community. They're usually just looking for that agency that can be that platform for giving back. And so it's nice to have United Way, and we can connect them to all of the needs in our community.
If you're a business owner out there, or you want to get your business more involved, contact us at United Way. We do employee campaigns. We do them year-round, and it's a way to really get your employees, your team, a part of giving back. You can be involved in our Day of Caring. That's every August, usually the second Wednesday of the month. Or you can have us come and speak about local issues and ways that you as a community can make a big difference. For example, $2,000 sponsors an entire weekend full of backpacks through the United Way Backpack Program. Or if you're listening out in New Salem, we want to start the Dolly Parton Imagination Library out there. There's other small communities where we're looking to get children under the age of 5 enrolled in our Imagination Library, because then they'll receive a free book in the mail every single month.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful right now in Bismarck, Mandan. I think at pretty much any given time we have anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 kids. So it's nice to instill that love of reading at a young age, and a great opportunities to parents to role model the love of reading to their kids as well. So if you're not signed up for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, call our office. It's $25 for us to do the program per kid. And so if you can make that donation, we encourage it. If not, that's why we do the employee campaigns and try to encourage that donation throughout the year to cover those costs.
So we're in studio with the executive director of CCO talking about the Wheels for Work program. If you have a vehicle out there, maybe you want to upgrade. Maybe you just have a spare vehicle. Maybe it's just too expensive for you to try to fix, or maybe it's just a little bit run down and you're not needing it. Donate it to CCO. Sarah Carlson, Executive Director, is talking about the Wheels for Work program and how those cars are being put to use in our community. And Sarah, you've had so much success since you started the program in 2013.
We really have had success, and I think that's because of the big hearts that the people in our community have. There hasn't been a single business that I have talked to, and I mostly go to car dealerships, auto repair places. We're talking about cars here. So any business that I have approached and asked them to partner with us, nobody has turned me down. They have at least been willing to discount their services for our vehicles, or donate. It's a very generous community. And so the Wheels for Work program is a transportation assistance program where people can donate their used vehicle that they don't need anymore, and we match them up with a recipient from our waiting list, which is usually pretty long. They are very low-income people who are struggling to find and keep jobs. They all come from all applicants are referred by other social service agencies. So they've been vetted and they're good candidates for a vehicle. Many of them are single-parent families. And it's just so exciting to see when they receive a vehicle and to know that it's life-changing. They can go to the grocery store when they want. They can, sometimes if they have a job, they're able to take more shifts for that job, or they're, able to get there on time. So
Well, and really have that feeling of independence.
absolutely.
You know, most of the people that we're helping through United Way, and now CCO is a United Way agency,
yes.
you know, it's all about removing those barriers
Absolutely.
to people becoming self-sufficient, because the majority of people want to get back on their feet again. They're not just looking for a handout.
They are looking for a hand up, which is what people in the community can give in the gift of a vehicle. And the reason it's really advantageous for people to donate their vehicles that they aren't using, rather than, let's say you have a vehicle and you thought maybe you'd list it on Bizman online and sell it. You might not get the fair market value for that vehicle. Someone might offer you a little bit less, but if you donate it to a nonprofit organization, a 501c3 nonprofit, you can take the full fair market value of that vehicle as a tax deduction. And so, you know, it's better in the long run, and it helps out somebody else, and you can really feel good about that donation.
So, you know, at what point is a vehicle non-repairable?
A vehicle's non-repairable if the cost of the repair outweighs the value of that vehicle. And I do have grant funds that I have, that's my job. My title's executive director, but really I'm just the fundraiser. Let's be real here. So that's why I write grants, and that's why I go to businesses and ask for donations, is we use those monies that are donated and that we receive from agencies like the United Way to cover the cost of repairs of those vehicles. There are times when we get vehicles that have nothing wrong with them, and I just jump up and down in my office when I get those phone calls, because that's really exciting.
I bet. And so if somebody's listening right now and they're like, you know what, we don't really drive that car that often, or our parents are getting older and they might no longer in the next 5 years be needing their car, how would they go about donating that vehicle?
They just need to give us a call. The phone number is 226-2488, or they can look on our website, and that is ccoinc.net, so ccoinc.net. We have a Facebook page that you can get to through our website, and you can message me on Facebook. So those are the three different ways.
And so how long, you mentioned your waiting list is quite long. How
It's always long.
is that? I mean, are you constantly getting referrals from other agencies?
We are constantly getting referrals. Now, keep in mind, we will actually make repairs for people who are employed, who are very low income, who are referred by outside agencies. For example, one of the biggest agencies that we help out is the Abused Adult Resource Center. The women who are living in that shelter, let's say they do have a job, but they have their car breaks down. AARC maybe might pool some of their funds. We will also put some of our funds in and see if we can get that repair made for that person when they need that vehicle to get to work.
And so what's the turnaround time when people are wanting help? How long do they typically have to wait to receive that help?
Well, they wait. I always tell them, you are at the mercy of the donors of the vehicles. So it can be feast or famine. Now, in November and December, of course, it was the end of the year. And, through some other promotions that happened end of year, we did receive quite a few vehicles. I think we had 15 donated just in November and December alone, and we have been able to match almost all of those vehicles that we were able to go ahead and repair. So we've done 7 vehicles that we've given out just in 2016 alone.
Well, and you're much to credit for that, Sarah. You're doing an outstanding job. You just started this program in December of 2013. How many vehicles have you received since that time, and how many repairs?
Oh, I actually wrote it down. Here we go. Since the very first vehicles that we gave away, which was on New Year's Eve, 2013, we have matched 25 recipients with vehicles, and we have also been able to help with the cost of repairs on another 57 vehicles. So even though we've matched 25 recipients, we've probably had 35 vehicles donated to us. There are times where we are not able to fix a vehicle. It just costs too much. But then I call my friends up at the Johnson's Salvage Yard, and they're also very good to us, and oftentimes will give us top dollar that they can for the salvage of that vehicle.
Well, and one of the most frustrating things to me are when you can tell on the look of people's faces after you do a presentation, or sometimes in their comments, why don't they just get a job?
Well, that's a good question, Jenna. Why don't they get a job? Because they might have children and they don't have childcare for that job. They might not have a vehicle and be able to get to that job. They might not be able to take the bus. It might not get all the way to where they need to go. There are many barriers to successful employment, and we're trying to break them.
And that's what the United Way Income Initiative is all about, reducing barriers so people can get that job and can become self-sufficient for their families. Thank you to Sarah Carlson and CCO for all the great work that you're doing.
On Super Talk 1270. Right now, 37.
Here's Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons on Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. I'm Jenna Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way, and co-hosting with me today, the fabulous, the rock star, the newly engaged Ms. Amber Jensen.
Good morning. Quite the intro.
Well, I got a lot more where that's coming from. I just had my second cup of coffee. Woo!
I need to take that up.
Yeah. I've been up since 5:30, and I'm not a morning person, but I've had nonstop calls for foster kids. I mean, literally, I've had how many kids in the last week?
I think every night, haven't you?
Yeah, every single night, actually. It gets easier, though. The more you do it, you kind of get into a routine. I'm not saying parenting is easy by any means. I'm just saying, the whole cooking, waking up, getting kids ready, it just kind of becomes a routine.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
But no, it was so cute. The 7-year-old fell right to sleep after she was reading. I gave her one of the books from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And gosh, she loved it. She read it cover to cover too.
And how old is she?
7.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And then I also wanted to, if anyone is listening out there, I do have to say, please watch what you're posting on news sites online. Oftentimes, it's the parent of these foster kids that you're making disparaging comments about. And maybe sometimes it's deserving and other times not. I had a foster child last night, actually, that logged online, was reading a news story about her parent, started commenting on it, 12 years old. And all I can imagine is, what is she feeling when she's reading about what a horrible parent you're saying her mom is? Mm-hmm. It's still her mom. Still her mom. People don't think about things like that, I guess.
Yeah, you forget that all ages now are reading the newspaper, are on Facebook, or on Twitter, and seeing everybody's comments that we're putting out there. And yeah, it's sad. You forget who could see those and what your words and who they're really hurting.
Yeah, so use your best judgment. And you must be those who have good judgment, because you're listening to United Way's Community Talk right now, today, this morning. And we're happy about that. We are, for the first time in our studio here in Mandan, North Dakota, speaking to someone from North Dakota Jumpstart. We have Mr. Volunteer Extraordinaire Todd Van Orman.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, Todd. So, Todd, tell us, what is the Real World Camp?
Well, the Real World Camp, and Jumpstart in general, I guess, is a organization that is really focused on the financial literacy of all North Dakota citizens. And Jumpstart is, Real World Camp is one of our major programs, major events, I guess, for the year. And what the Real World Camp is it's a one-day free camp for area 6th and 7th graders. And what we do is we really give them a feel for financial literacy for a lot of different topics, and give them an opportunity, I guess, to put that to use in real life. And so what the camp consists of is the morning is kind of a classroom session. We go over topics, everything from savings to checking accounts to insurance, which is another topic that a lot of students and honestly a lot of adults and parents sometimes don't know a lot about and should know a lot about. And so those are the topics that we're trying to really get out there and hit the students early. So like I said, this is 6th and 7th graders. The morning of the camp is the classroom setting. We have some great presenters from area banks, area credit unions, area organizations, great community support. And then really the exciting part of the day is in the afternoon. So what'll happen?
Because that's because we're there.
And that is because United Way is there.
United Way is there in the afternoon.
Yes, they are one of our real world city organizations. And so what happens is the student will get a card that will give them a life, for lack of a better term. It'll tell them that you are an accountant making $60,000 a year and you're married and your spouse brings home this much money and you have 2 kids. And so based on that life that you're given, you go around to area vendors. I believe we're up to about 25 vendors this year. Vendors is probably the wrong word for it. It's everything from organizations to the police department to area businesses, retail outlets, restaurants. It's a great community support. And so the student will get their life, and then they have to put together a budget based on what they're going to need. So if you know that both spouses work and you've got 2 kids, we've got a daycare there that you need to go and figure out what the cost of daycare is. We have an area realtor there that you will go and you'll have to determine where do I want to live? Do I want to have an apartment? Do I want to have a house? Do I want to have a mobile home? You're given options, and within those options, you have to put together a budget and make sure you stay within that budget. And part of that is stuff that a lot of times you don't think of. It's donations that you might want to make, hence the United Way helps us out with that. It's some of those emergency costs or maybe even unexpected costs, whether it's a car repair or whether it's a speeding ticket, and that's where the police department comes in. And so knowing not only those recurring costs that come up every month, but some of the unexpected costs. And it's a really fun event. There's a lot of energy with the amount of students we have there, and we're looking forward to it again. We run one in Bismarck. That is April 29th this year. Our goal this year was 180 students. We had about 150 this last year. Our goal was 180. The way the registration popped through, we ended up with 216. But we are not turning anyone away, so...
So you had 216 register
Yep.
last year.
Last year we had about 150. We're up to 216 this year.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we had...
So how do kids register? And is it open to all 6th and 7th graders and just Bismarck? Is it Bismarck-Mandan?
It's the area. We actually have a good group of... This year, April 29th, both schools are off of school, so in Bismarck and Mandan. So you end up with a lot of maybe single students that sign up. Just the parents pop onto the website. NorthDakotaJumpstart.org is our website. We are full, as I said, for this year, but keep an eye out definitely for next year. Fargo also does a version of the camp as well, if there's anyone or kind of from the eastern part of the state. That's in late April as well, and you can get to the registration on our website there as well. But we have, like I said, a lot of maybe single students from Bismarck-Mandan. We also have a lot of area, smaller towns that register entire classes. So we've got classes coming from Wishick, from Garrison, from Turtle Lake. We had someone come down last year from Burlington. We've got a couple coming from Newtown this year. It's really a good mix of kind of the core Bismarck-Mandan area as well as surrounding communities. And I think a lot of the schools make it kind of an annual event. They bring the whole bus up, and it's a good opportunity.
Well, you're going to have to apply for twice as many funds and do 2 next year.
We love that we've had growth. We've had great growth, not only in the number of students, but the number of volunteers. The teachers are always there, a part of it, helping us volunteer and chaperone. And so many area businesses not only donate, but let their employees off for a full day. It's a full day event. 8 hours, and so to let them off for work to volunteer for this type of event is a big deal. And we have about 45 volunteers right now, so we're about one volunteer to about 5 kids, but we could always use a couple more. So if anyone really has financial literacy as a passion or is interested in this type of event, we're certainly looking for a couple more if we can get them, and if not, we are certainly there to handle the number of students we have coming. So if anyone is interested in volunteering, you can give me a call directly at 701-391-3964. And just let me know that you'd be interested in volunteering, and we will get you signed up. You'll get a free T-shirt, and it's a fun day.
I just think we've participated as United Way in this program for several years, and I just think it's really important now that kids have credit cards and you don't have your check register like you used to. Not that I ever maybe use that. I'm probably not the perfect example of what it's like to budget, but it's so important because now kids can shop online on Amazon and they can go get whatever they want at Shields, and you don't realize how quickly that money disappears without going online to your bank statement or doing an actual budget. And so I think it's really important that we continue to educate our students on just the general business practices so that we make sure these kids are able to, when they graduate high school, continue to stay on their feet, to continue to know what it's like to form budgets and continue to be financial stewards of their dollars. And so I just think it's really fun. And if you are a vendor out there and you've done it before, it's really fun to hear the stories of the kids and what they think is important and what's not. And as we at United Way continue to see millennials really wanting to give back, it's really interesting to watch them get involved and want to do charity and volunteer. So I think it's just a great program. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. And that's a great point. I mean, so many of the students don't maybe learn it from their parents, whether the parents don't know it themselves or just don't talk about money, I think, every day with them sometimes. So it's a good opportunity to hit those topics really early on in life. And you know, the earlier you can start, the better habits you can build. And I think really that's what we're trying to do. I know there's financial education requirements in high school now, but really hitting them early so when they get into those high school courses that they've already got that concept in place. And especially once you get into college and have access to credit cards, and student loans is such a big deal anymore. So there's so many topics, like I said, that just don't get talked about with the students, and it's really important for them to learn that early.
If you are interested in learning more about the Real World Camp or would like to volunteer this upcoming April 29th, give Todd a call, 391-3964.
Right now, 37.
Dave Ramsey is heard here. Super Talk 1270.
Hello there. You are listening to United Way's Community Talk. I'm Jenna Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. And in studio with me today is co-host, Operations and Marketing Manager Extraordinaire, Ms. Amber Jensen.
Good morning, everyone.
Amber, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, let's see. Do you want what I really want to talk about? No, I'm just kidding.
I think our listeners out there want what you really want to talk about. What's on your mind?
You know, I think as we are getting close to spring, one thing that we should mention from United Way is if you're a business out there and you are looking and you have an item in your store that you want to donate to the United Way online auction, call our office 255-3601. Kathy Walmsley from our office is just now reaching out to businesses and individuals looking for those items that we can advertise and sell on our online auction. And so we usually have anywhere from, I would say last year we had about 25,000 people visiting our online auction site, and we had over 150 items up for bid, including timeshares, tickets, an autographed NDSU helmet. And so we have a lot of great items. And so now if you have an item you're willing to donate to our auction, give us a call, 255-3601.
I would think, too, as a business, it's a great way to market.
Yes.
Market to a lot of people at the cost of your donated item. And you're able to write that in-kind donation off.
Yeah, last year we were able to put a picture of the item or your company logo on the website, as well as link it directly to your company website. And so as we have maybe new customers coming on our site daily, they might also be new customers for you. So a great way to advertise your business.
You know, I got to tell you about a story recently in the last month where I had 2 little girls come into my home, ages 10 and 5, and their mother was arrested for child neglect. Found out later, because the 10-year-old said, well, my mom, she's always in the bedroom sleeping. And so I found out later the mother is actually addicted to pain medication. And this 10-year-old said, I'm the one that takes care of my sister.
Can you imagine? I can't even imagine.
And this 10-year-old really acted like she was 16. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I mean, just a beautiful, shy, very polite young lady. And with the weight of the world on her shoulders. So I tell you this, I tell our listeners this because, you know, you don't have to do foster care. I get that that's a huge commitment, letting children into your home. But gosh, imagine those kids sleeping with a stranger for the first time. How scary. That's all I can think of when they come into my home. How scary for them. And not knowing what to expect and just the uncomfortableness and whatnot. But, you know, if you don't want to do foster care, maybe there's another way that you can help. Help these kids who are keeping in all their emotions and going through day-to-day life and have, you know, so many adult burdens that they carry around with them before they even get to school. And then they're at school and they're supposed to learn and catch up to their peers. And how are they going to do that? So one very easy way for you to give back is to get involved in our United Way Adopt a Classroom program. It's where you as a business can adopt a school, or you can individually be linked through United Way or through one of our partner programs to go into the classroom and be a reader, tutor, or mentor to these little kids.
Yeah, it's such a wonderful experience. You know, we've had a couple opportunities to go to Saxvig Elementary with the Women's Leadership Circle. And the moment you walk into that school, I think you probably already have 10 lunch dates that you know you won't be able to fulfill. But those kids are just so excited to have that positive role model there, just to tell them about their weekend or tell them what they learned at school. Maybe they were able to read a whole book by themselves without any help, or they were able to write their name correctly. It's just those big achievements that they want to share with other people, and it's just a great opportunity to be there. At Saxvig Elementary, we go twice a month from 11 to 1, and the Women's Leadership Circle is always looking for more volunteers. We currently go into 6 classrooms, but we get to read with the kids. We get to have the kids read to us. We help them with math. We also get to do fun things like go to recess with them and play freeze tag. And so just to kind of act like a kid again and be that positive role model. And then we eat lunch with them because they a lot of times probably don't get to eat lunch with another adult. And so it's just a really great opportunity. Like you said, if you only can volunteer once or if you can go every month, it's a great opportunity.
You know, we're really trying to solve problems that end up affecting every single one of us in our community. So if you're looking for a way to get involved, go online to volunteerbizman.com and peruse all the different volunteer opportunities and the different needs. I'll tell you this, we operate on a very tight budget. There's only 5.5 of us that are actually employed at United Way. And we really rely on our volunteers. Our admin expenses this last audit, which we just wrapped up at the end of June, end of fiscal year, we only had 4% going towards admin, which is excruciatingly low. But that's because we have such wonderful volunteers who are helping us day in and day out. So give us a call. You can find us on Facebook, Facebook.com/MSAUWay, or go online to Volunteer Bizman, or our number is 255-3601.
You know, and another big opportunity, you talked about, you know, kids when they're expected to get to school and maybe they're living in a stranger's home that night through foster care. But a lot of things, sometimes they might not have the food. And so if you're doing a food drive, or if you're looking to do a food drive, or your business is wanting to get involved in the United Way Backpack program, our numbers have just continued to increase. We're about at 800 backpacks that we're doing during the weekends to make sure kids don't go hungry.
What's really cool is that we found community support in Hazen, Beulah, and Linton. And so we've expanded the United Way Backpack program to serve children in those areas. And we're looking to expand it to other rural communities. We do over 800 backpacks for the Bismarck and Mandan area. But last year alone, we did 57,000 meals for kids who would otherwise go hungry.
That is it's just really crazy when you a lot of times might not be seeing those kids or who are in those needs, and you might just turn your back towards that. But really, hunger and making sure kids are ready to learn when they get back to school on Monday has really been an issue that at United Way we've been trying to get to the root cause.
Well, research shows that children who aren't faced with issues of hunger are going to have better attendance. They're going to have higher reading and math scores, and they're actually going to have better behavior and get along better with their peers. So it's not just about that basic need. It's about, the long-term goals of our United Way Backpack program and our health initiative in general.
Yeah, we had a story of a kid. You talk about anger issues and being able to get along with others. We had one kid that ended up having to go to the office, and when the counselor asked, why are you acting out like this? Why are you doing this? And his answer was, I'm just so hungry. And so they brought him down to the food pantry there and got him some food, and then they were able to address the other issues. But a lot of times it can just be hunger being the basis of kids acting out.
People think our Missouri Slope area-wide just serves people in Bismarck and Mandan. We certainly do target those areas for the majority of our efforts, but we're also in a 10-county area. So last year in Mercer County, we provided 62,600 meals in rural communities there. In Oliver County, 15,759 meals. Sheridan County, we have 23 children enrolled in United Way's Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Flasher, we have 9 children enrolled in United Way's Dolly Parton Imagination Library. We have 11 children in Napoleon. We're in this 10-county area, and we're looking to do more and to do better to make sure the needs of children and adults in our community are being met.
If you're looking for, an upcoming volunteer opportunity in the Bismarck-Mandan area, we will be having the Stamp Out Hunger food drive again, and that we do in conjunction with the United States Postal Service. They have this event every year, and United Way helps them get volunteers because a lot of people leave a lot of food by their mailbox, and so United Way volunteers go along with the postal carriers and help collect those. Last year, we collected $87,880 in donations, and that went to 14 different agencies. So if you can help, mark your calendar. May 14th this year will be the Stamp Out Hunger food drive.
Yeah, we're talking almost 60,000 pounds of food that goes back to our community pantries, our United Way Backpack program, and we're looking to really solve the issue of hunger so that no one in our community is dealing with that. We have a peanut butter and jelly drive coming up. We have Lauren Hinckley, who's a student at Century High School, that organizes that every year for us. So if you want to donate your peanut butter and jelly, hopefully not yours. Hopefully it's new. Make sure you buy it in a small plastic container, one that can't break.
Yeah, and you can drop those off at all of the Starion locations. The Capitol will have a collection site as well, or send it to school with your kids because many of the schools are also setting up collection drives anywhere between March 30th to April 12th.
So thanks for tuning in, but most importantly, thank you to our community for being so generous and really wanting to target the root causes of problems in our community. If you want to be a community impact reviewer, call our office. You, as a donor, can help decide where your dollars go. If you'd like to have us come and speak to your business, we are more than happy to do so. We're meeting with all of our new heroes from United Way this next month to give them a special thank you for their support and tell them how their dollars are used and where it's needed the most. If you just want to volunteer in our office, we would love to have you. It's all about giving back and making sure that your time and your donations are used in the most efficient and effective way, targeted at the issues that affect all of us. Log online to msaunitedway.org or just go on to Volunteer Bizman. Thanks for tuning in. You have a wonderful day.